is a mind reader, because we inadvertently share so much information on the internet from our Facebook profiles. Just think back, look at all the information you have about you on the internet, your Facebook, the tweets that you have posted, the WhatsApp messages that you have sent, things that they have said. If someone has access to all this, how much information would the person have about your life? And there was a study done by Statista, and it said that in a minute on the internet in 2021, there were 28,000 subscribers, Netflix subscribers watching Netflix. There were 695,000 stories shared on Instagram in 1 minute. There were 69 million WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger or chat messages sent in 1 minute, 69 million. There were 500 hours of content uploaded in 1 minute. So you can see the amount of data that is being generated on the internet. I remember when the internet first came about, there were some people that said, oh, this internet is not going to work, as with every new technology. But we've seen that we are even just scratching the surface of the internet. We're scratching the surface of the capabilities of the internet. It's good for a lot of things. We can use it to learn. We can use it to communicate with people outside, within and outside the country. It has made the world a global village. Now, within seconds, you can talk to someone, send a message, send money. People are even able to perform very critical surgical operations over the internet using robotics and artificial intelligence. You can learn from a school in the US without even leaving your bedroom. You can do so many things. There are very many things that the internet can provide. And the use cases are, so far as we know it now, endless, because they are all, with 5G that is coming up, there are even more things that we can explore when we have faster internet connection, more seamless internet connection. And so it's just mind-blowing to understand what are the things that we can do over the internet. But as with everything that is good, there are always the people that will want to take over and do something bad with it. With every good thing, there are the bad guys that want to do something bad with it. So that is where we come in. We come in. It is our duty to advocate safer internet practices such that these bad people don't have vulnerabilities or things that they can take over from. They don't have vulnerabilities that they can exploit in order to get us and to get people that are not educated. Now, some of the perils of the internet, which I'm going to discuss today, before we go into what can we do as individuals to protect the internet. So the first thing is identity theft. Identity theft is very prevalent on the internet because the internet is faceless. So you can say, I will tell you I'm Funmi, but how do you know I am actually Funmi? How do you know I'm not Ronke, that it's not a deep fake that is talking to you? How do you know? You do not know because I'm talking to you over the internet. So I may be Abdullahi, for example, and I said I'm Funmi, and you just believe me because I said so. So identity theft is very prevalent on the internet because the internet is faceless. We are just known by IP addresses, and the IP addresses can change with so many browsers, Tor and other browsers. You can, and VPNs. You can actually say you are from Germany, whereas you are in Ikeja. So identity theft is prevalent. A lot of people hijack people's Facebook profiles, people's other social media profiles, and actually use that to perpetrate fraud, start asking people for money. Now, these people, they believe that because it is Aisha Buhari's Facebook profile, it is actually Aisha Buhari that is there, that is manning it. But no, it might be Kunle or John or Peter that may be manning that Facebook profile. That he may have hijacked the Facebook profile. Something happened last year. My daughter, she liked a particular celebrity, and she saw the celebrity's profile on YouTube. There was an email address on one of the music that the celebrity actually posted, or music for the celebrity. She saw an email address, and she actually thought that, oh, she was like, mommy, I saw the email and I want to send a mail to the celebrity on her birthday to wish her a happy birthday and everything. I said, okay, that's fine. And she took the email address and she sent the email to that email address. And the response that came back was, thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. I actually have a charity that's supporting. Send any amount that you can send to this account number, and we'll give it to the charity, and all that, and all that, and all that. And she came to meet me and said, why am I getting a mail like this? I said, how do you know the celebrity is actually the person that has that email address? How do you know? You just believe it. So identity theft is very, very prevalent over the internet. And so also, the second thing is cyberbullying. And unfortunately, our young ones are really susceptible to it. Even we as older ones, you know, when you post something maybe on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and people like it, people share it, there's that feeling you get. It's a pleasure feeling that goes with the brain, that you get, it feels so good that what you said, people liked it, people shared it, people put positive comments on it. But also the reverse is the case. When you post something and people don't like it, people are attacking you because of it, people are frowning because of it, it's a way of bullying. And it has a way of affecting the mental state of the individual. It has a way of affecting the personality of the individual and his self-esteem, because he feels that, and even if it's just 10 people that did not like it, it will say the whole world hates me. The whole world hates me. They don't like what I've posted. The person may even go into depression because of that. So it is very prevalent on the internet, cyberbullying, and it can come from anywhere. It doesn't have to, unlike bullying in the physical realm that maybe is limited to maybe your classmates or people you interact with on a daily basis. Someone somewhere in the world that doesn't feel happy with himself can actually post a negative comment on that is totally unrelated to what you posted, and it will affect you so much because you feel that, why is this person doing this to me? You will feel ashamed because every other person will see that post. And it's so cyberbullying is very prevalent. Phishing is also something that is extremely prevalent. Phishing emails, phishing websites, and phishing is when a person tries to use non-technical techniques, probably by blackmailing or putting a sense of urgency, or just to make someone divulge confidential information. And it's not only prevalent in terms of email phishing. There's what we call smishing, where people send SMSs to get confidential information from other people. There's also vishing, where people call. I received a call some months ago, and someone was telling me, you just open an account with a bank. And I was like, okay. And he said, I want you to, because you just opened the account, you need to put money in the account. And you need to ensure that the account is running so that it won't be closed because you just opened it. And I said, okay, I'm listening. And he said, you know what? I can help you put money. Send 20,000 naira to another bank's account. Then I will help you transfer it to your account. And I said, okay. I said, why can't I just transfer the money directly to my account, since you want me to fund the account so that it won't go dormant? Dormant in 3 days. He said, you want me to fund the account so that it won't go dormant. So why don't I just transfer money to my account directly? He said, no. But he said, no, you don't understand what I'm trying to help you do. I said, okay, can you explain to me? Say, I want to help you to make this account work. You have to transfer to this account, transfer it to my wife's account. I said, okay, give me the account details. He gave me. And the account was Issa Bello. I was like, this is a man's name. He said, no. It was funny. I was using the opportunity to even learn from them. So I made sure I engaged the guy for a whole day. We were calling back and forth because as a cybersecurity professional, I have to understand the tactics of these criminals. So I engaged him, I called him, I engaged him. He said, no, okay, I should go to a POS. I should tell them to transfer. I said, okay. So I really engaged the guy. And when I really understood what he was doing, I said, you know what? I'm not interested in this. He was calling me, and I didn't respond to him. But we can see that that is phishing, voice phishing. And it's really prevalent now. They want to get sensitive information from you so that they can use that information against you. And sometimes they even go on social media, they do targeted phishing so that they go on social media, harvest information about you, and now use that information to make you believe that they are calling from or they are reaching out to you from a legitimate source. So they can say they are from your bank, they're from your school, they are from probably your whatever organization that you trust. And they would say, okay, that's fine. Another thing is online scams. There are so many of them now. They will say, click here to win a trip to Dubai. Or a pop-up can just come on your screen saying your system has been infected with a malware. Click here and we would help you clean it and give you our antivirus for free. As I say, there is no free lunch even in Freetown. So you shouldn't you shouldn't allow those people to defraud you and you shouldn't fall for those scams. Another thing is malware. Malware is very prevalent. Malicious software that people propagate on the internet. And when you go to some sites, there's what they call drive-by downloads, whereby you just go to some site and the fact that you're on that site, they are downloading something on your system. They are mainly linked to pornographic sites and sites that put inappropriate content. So when you go to those sites, they just, whether with your consent or not, they just download things on your system, steal your cookies, steal sensitive information. And if you're the kind of person that saves information on your browser, maybe if you log in somewhere, you say, save the password, save this, save that. Some people are able to just harvest that information from your browser and use it against you. And also inappropriate content. I think this is the one that really scares me a lot, because a lot of young people, when they go on the internet, they are not able to differentiate between what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. As adults, we can say, okay, I'm not going to this site because it's not good. But as a child, they just go to a site and a pop-up comes up, or ads that are showing illicit content are just showing up on the side of their browsers. So you would be like, for example, a child is browsing, you will see an ad saying dating sites and showing all sorts of women and all that. And this is really something that really scares me for the next generation. And so these are just some. There are many. There are very many, but these are just some of the perils of the internet. The internet is good. Everything that has a good side also has a bad side. And so what can we do? What is our role in making sure that the internet is a safer place? So the first thing is a question I want to ask. And maybe it's just a food for thought. Let's just think about it. If I told you that the internet will never forget, what would you do differently in terms of your interaction with the internet? How would you interact with the internet? What decisions would you make? You know, there was something that happened to me about almost 10 years ago, and it just changed my life. So I don't know how many of us have tried to Google ourselves. Just put your name and try to just type Google and put your name there. I did it almost 10 years ago, and I was shocked as to what I saw. Then I was on Facebook, and I just realized that all my Facebook pictures were there. People could see it from when I got married to when I had my first child to when I did this. They could see everything because I had not put in the privacy settings on Facebook. So it was searchable. And once I just put in my name, I could see all those things. I was scared, literally, because I'm a cybersecurity professional. I know the implications. So I was scared. Immediately, I went to Facebook, block. As in, I was just panicked. I was just scared. So, for example, on the screen, I'm showing you a BBC website page from 25th of January, 1999. That's over 20 years ago. And it's still there on the internet. So whatever, you just think about it, you're interacting with the internet, you know, going on the internet, posting things, just think about it that, okay, whatever I'm posting, in 20 years time, in 30 years time, would I be proud of it? Would I be happy with it? Would it be something I would be happy to say that, yes, I posted? We can see a lot of politicians when they're going up for roles, what the journalists do is that they just go and dig up all the things they said 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and try to use it to blackmail them, try to use it to discredit them. So that's why it's very important for us to say, okay, whatever I am doing, would I be proud of it if I see it in the next 10 years, 20 years? So how can we make the internet safer? It starts with each and every one of us. We have a role to play, because if we do not give the bad guys the leverage or the openness, if we do not give them the ammunition they need, it would invariably not be a lucrative business, and they would not go ahead with it again. They would move on to something else. So the first thing is to keep your information private. Whatever information about you, keep it private. So imagine if everybody in the world keeps their information private. People that want to do identity theft will find it difficult to get the information. It will deter them because they'll be like, it's not worth it. The stress I need to go to, the lengths I need to go to harvest information about people is too much. Let me just go and do something else. So let's always review and update our privacy settings on all our social media profiles. Don't stay with the default settings and say, okay, I've just opened this profile, I've just opened this thing, let me just go ahead, let me just be using it. Go and review the privacy settings and make sure that you are keeping your personal information private. Even on Facebook, some people will put information, I live in Osun State, I am married to this person, I went to the University of Lagos, my birthday is 22nd of August 2020. This one, that they put so much information. And you see some of that information, you actually use it when you are trying to identify yourself in a bank. So for example, trying to identify yourself in a bank, they would ask maybe for your mother's maiden name. And you've put on Facebook that my mother is this one. So the person has the information. They will ask for your birthday. You put it there that my birthday is this. So you have to be careful of the kind of information you post online and the privacy settings. You have to be careful who you even interact with on the internet. You have to be careful who you interact with on the internet, because as I said earlier, not everybody you say is who they actually are. So someone may say, I'm Buhari, but the person may just be Peter. So you have to be careful who you meet online. And any documents that have sensitive information, you have to destroy them very well. Even your personal documents, maybe you've used it, you filled a form and the information you just printed it out. Before you dispose it, shred it, make sure you shred it. That's not internet, but it's also part of it. This information can be used against you on the internet and can be used to impersonate you. Then we should also always have good antivirus on all our devices. Don't say, oh, it's expensive. The what you lose from not having it is worse than what you would lose from having it. So it's better you have it. You have a good antivirus. Don't go for a cheap one, or don't go for a free one. There are some that say it's free antivirus. Most of them come with Trojans and all sorts of malicious software that are installed on your system while you are using them. So go for ones that are good, that have ad blockers, that have anti-malware, have anti-spyware. Spyware is when these applications do not actually do anything. What they just do is just monitor what you are doing, and they send information back to the control and command system. Now, a lot of people say, I don't have malware on my system. How do you know? There was an organization that we actually, this is a bank that we actually worked for, and they had a malware sitting on one of their systems, and the malware was not doing anything. But when we found out and found the malware, we found from looking at the code of the malware, we saw that the malware was supposed to do something in 2 months' time. They had, when you look at the source code, they had quoted that on this particular day, on this particular year, send this particular information to center. Now, the malware was not doing anything at the moment, but it was just waiting for the next for the next thing it's supposed to do. So we should be very careful. We should always ensure that on our systems, on our phones, on our tablets, everywhere, even when you have children using laptops, and install an anti-malware on their laptops too. Passwords, as there was an organization I went to, and I saw on their wall, they said, your password is like a toothbrush. You don't share and you change it often. And it really stuck to me, because it's true. You do not, the same way you not share your toothbrush, and when you've used the toothbrush over 3 months, you dispose of it. That is the same thing you should do to your password. You do not share your password, and you change it regularly. You should use complex passwords, passphrases, if like a sentence, and you change the maybe change the A's to at, change the I's to one, to just transpose them so that it's difficult to guess. Also, you change your password often. And when we see that a site or a resource that we're using has the function of multi-factor authentication, please let us use it. WhatsApp has a multi-factor authentication system. Most of all these Gmail, most of all these email platforms are now putting multi-factor authentication. Please set it up such that you are able to use this authentication mechanism, and it helps to protect your system and your profile better. Also, we don't use the same password for everything. So you should have different passwords for different resources. It can be maybe a passphrase and you change things. Maybe in one you use A, in one and use A, in another one you use at, in another one you use 0. So it can be different types of the same passphrase, but you have to ensure that you have different things on different systems. And do not let your browser remember your login details. There are a lot of these browsers that come up with vulnerabilities all of a sudden, and the vulnerabilities that people can export and export your cookies and history that has been saved on the browser. So you should be very wary of letting your browser know your login details. Also, you have to use a secure internet connection such that hackers will not have access to your information. If you go about using free Wi-Fi, the bad thing about free Wi-Fi is that the other people connected to that same Wi-Fi can have access to your system. You know, when you're connected to a Wi-Fi, to a wireless connection, it says you should, it says, do you want to share your details with other people within the same network? So once it says that, what are you saying? And maybe you click yes. Even if you click no, there are tools that can be used to access people's information, and even when they are on the same wireless connection. Now, also, we need to ensure that our apps, our systems are updated regularly. If you are using your phone, update your phone, your tablet. If you are using your workstation, update, make sure you update. And please, we should not use cracked versions of operating systems, or cracked versions of phone OS or not. What happens when you use cracked version is that you are not able to get the updates. And once you don't get updates, the vulnerabilities that are on that version, you are exposed to them. So for example, it was some time ago, Microsoft had this print spooler vulnerability, whereby due to the print spooler task within the operating system, people can actually exploit that task and use it to gain privileged access to your system. So in Windows, when you want to print a document, there's a print spooler task that comes up and helps you to do those printing. Now, that task was already, someone's able to exploit it and made it vulnerable. And you could use that task to have privileged access to your system. Now, if you have an operating system that is not licensed, for example, when Microsoft released the patch for that, you will not be able to get it because you are using an old operating system. For example, you are using maybe Windows 7 or Windows 2003, an old Windows system that is not being supported by the OEM or Microsoft. Again, you will not get those updates and your system will still be vulnerable to that thing. So what a lot of hackers will be doing is to look for all systems with old operating systems, workstations or systems on the online with old operating systems, and they will know that because you are running an old operating system, it would most likely not be patched. It will not be updated, and so it will be vulnerable. That is what they do. That is what they do. And so you have to ensure that you use the latest version of your device on your operating system. It's very, very important. Also, we've heard this a lot, almost everywhere they say, do not click on links, do not do this one. It is very, very important. Any link that does not start with HTTPS, be very watchful. Do not submit your information on such link, no matter who is telling you that you should do it. If it doesn't have the padlock sign or it doesn't start with HTTPS, do not put your information on that link, even if it's the government saying that you should do that. I remember some months ago, there was a link that was going around that federal government wants to do, federal government of Nigeria wants to do second wave of subsidy and that people should register. And the link was just going round and round. And people were saying, yes, people sent it to me also. And I just looked at the link, just HTTP, and I said, I'm not even if I want to, of which I'm sure this is false, but even if it was real, I will not put my information on a link that is not secure, because anybody can be able to have access to your information as you are posting it. Therefore, avoid clicking links in emails. When adverts say you want something, you are the 1,000th user to come on our site, please click this to redeem your prize. Do not click. Allow them go. It's not it's not, if they really want to reach out to you, they would reach out to you. Verify the authenticity of anything before you click on a link that's been shared with you, even if it's your friend that shares it. I know a lot of things on WhatsApp, people just share all sort of things on WhatsApp to people. Click this link, this is what we should do, this is the training thing, just click it. Be careful. Sometimes some of these things that people post, you can even go on the internet and even check whether it's a scam. There are some of them that they'll say, you've won this, click this now. And when I just pick the header, I don't click on the link, pick the header or pick what it is about, and I Google it. I find out that it's a known scam that people have even written thesis on. And if you do not know, you will just believe it and you will just click on it and be defrauded. Also, we should be careful of what we share on social media. I had said it earlier. Don't share your personal details, only on a need to know what is needed for them to be able to provide service for you. Do not share your location. I know in WhatsApp, we have location service. If you want someone to know your current location, you can just put it there. Be careful when you are doing that, because as much as the person is knowing, also other people, your information is also being taken to the social media platform. So you should be careful when you are using it. Don't use it in perpetuity. Just use it for whatever you want to use it for and go. Also, Google is very fond, especially when you're using an Android phone. Google is very fond of getting your information in the background, your location, everything, saying you are here, this is where your browser is, this is where you are browsing from. We should be careful. Go and look at the privacy settings on those platforms and ensure that you are not giving off sensitive information. Also, you should avoid untrusted applications. There are some, when we perform 24/7 monitoring for clients, we also, apart from looking at their internal network, we also look at their external network, as in from the internet. How are they faced? How are they viewed from the internet? And what we see is that there are a lot of financial institutions that probably have applications that they give customers, but we find out that these malicious people will also post their own version of the same application. For example, if a bank has a banking app, and what they will do is that they will go and clone that banking app and now post it on, and it won't be on Google Play or whatever. They might post it on one random link. And what they will now tell you is that, this financial institution is testing a new enhanced application. Click on this link to be part of the initial testers. That is how you will click on it and now start using the app. Whereas that app has been modified and is now sending information to the hacker. So we should be very careful of untrusted apps that are not on the trusted platforms like Google Play, App Store. We should also, even when we download apps from this trusted platform, we need to look at the permissions. Why? For example, if you download a Notepad app and the app is asking for your location, why does the Notepad app need your location? You should be very careful. And it's what most of these, for example, most of all these loan apps, that's what they are leveraging on, the fact that people don't check these settings. So the loan app, you are using it to take a loan, but the loan app has already harvested all your contacts. And that is what happened. And they use the information that they've harvested from you, they use it against you by sending SMS, calling your contacts to tell them that you have defaulted on a loan. So we need to be very careful when we are installing apps. We need to be sure that these apps have the right permission, they don't have other malicious software attached to them, and they don't steal information. So we need to be very careful. Also, another thing is to make regular backups of your important files. If you have any important files, back them up. Why? Because on the internet, as much as you can be careful, mistakes can happen. For example, you might just download something and you get hit by a ransomware. A ransomware will encrypt and lock your system such that you don't have access to it. If that happens, if you have a backup, what you will just do is to format the system and put in your backup, put in your backed up data. But if you don't have, then you will now be at the mercy of the attacker. And you may even lose a lot of information because we do not advocate that you should pay any ransom. You should not pay ransom, because if you are doing that, you are supporting that business. And so if they see that people are not paying ransom, they would not do it because it will not be lucrative. They're also business people. So it will not be lucrative. So if you have a backup of your important files, then if anybody does anything, you don't need to even discuss with them. You don't need to even discuss with them. And so you should always take your backup. And finally, something very important is to catch up regularly on cyber trends. The thing with security is that it changes so fast, it's very dynamic. The same way being on the internet is very dynamic. The use cases that we had from the internet 5 years ago are different from the use cases that we have today. And because we have new use cases, new things that people are using the internet for, attackers will start. They're also creative in developing new ways to defraud people, to attack people, to make sure that people do not, to make sure that people are defrauded while using those use cases. So you need to be very, very aware. And I'm happy that CSEN is using this platform to advocate. It's more of an advocacy, to advocate that we all need to work together to make the internet secure for everybody. And so do your own part. Do not be the weak link. You might be that, there are so many people that use the internet. I'm just one person, but do your own part and encourage people around you to do their own part. If everybody encourages everybody around them, at least you will have at least 10 people in your inner circle of influence, between 7 to 10 people in your inner circle of influence. Do your own part and encourage those people to do their own part. If those people also do their own part and encourage their inner circle to do their own part, before we know it, we will reach the world. So we need to not be the weak link and make the internet a safe place for you, myself, and generations to come. Thank you very much for your time. I can take questions, comments at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Funmi. This is very powerful and loaded for the 5 minutes presentation. I wonder how you managed to cover all these things in these few minutes. That shows that a pro is the one talking to us here. So we are very, very grateful. For the purpose of those who are just joining, and for the fact that we did not start recording when we started, this is Funmilola Odumoboni. She's the president of ISACA Lagos chapter and one of the directors at Deloitte. So this is CSEN organizing a Saver Internet webinar. My name is Olabode Agbola. I am one of the directors of CSEN. On this call also is one of the directors, Samaila Bako. So this is just to introduce some of us who are stakeholders on this conversation. So please, we've got like 10 minutes to ask Madam Funmi questions, and the floor is open now. Thank you very much. Hello, any question?
I think we can start with there's a question in the chat box I would unmute him so he can speak if he doesn't mind, so that, because I would like him to explain something. So Nokot, if I pronounce your name well, I've asked you to unmute so you can speak. Maybe before you ask the question, you may want to describe what imposter syndrome is for those who may not know.
Good morning, all. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right, thank you for the wonderful session by the last speaker, Madam Funmilola. I learned a lot. So my question is, as a cyber analyst, I'm a cybersecurity analyst. How will one deal with imposter syndrome? Like, imposter syndrome means like you know some things, but you feel what you know is not enough for what the role you are being employed to serve. So I don't know if the question is clear.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, because
okay.
I was also at the point. And I tell you that even till now, I'm at that point, because cybersecurity is constantly evolving. There's no time that you will say as a cybersecurity professional, I know everything. There's no time, because things are evolving, technologies are coming up. As you are just grappling with cloud, people are talking about something else. As you are just grappling with, okay, authentication, people are talking about zero trust. So as you are just trying to understand one concept, they've moved on to another concept. People are talking about something else. So you would always have that feeling that, I need to know more. And that is what drives you to know more. That is what drives you to know more. If you feel that you know it, then you won't read, you won't go and do research, you won't keep up to date. You will just sit and say, I know it. So I don't want you should not feel like an imposter. You are not an imposter. You are someone that is learning and growing. And you should just accept that you will always have that feeling that you need to know more. So you go and know more. Go and know more. There's someone I respect, and he said that he read from a book that I think the book was by, I can't remember the author at the moment, that if you read 1 hour of your chosen profession every day, within 5 years, you would be an expert. And he said what he now did was that because he couldn't wait 5 years, he now said, okay, I want to cut it down by half. I can't wait for 5 years to know the result of this. So I will read 2 hours of my chosen profession, and now let me see where I am in 2.5 years. And it really worked. So since you are passionate about cybersecurity, every day, read something. It might be a news clip. It might be maybe there's a high profile hack. You read how it happened. And there are many analysts online that really analyze all these hacks and how it happened, what caused it, what was the impact, and all. Go and read, just continue to read. And you would see that you would think you don't know, but by the time you come out to start delivering, you just see all the stuff you've put inside, you just see it come out and you are able to deliver. So don't even think of it as imposter syndrome, because it's something that will go on for a long time.
Thank you, Madam Funmi. And I think Nokot has understood now. Sometimes we all feel that because when much is expected of you and you thought your expertise has been brought to the table, you now realize that there are some areas where you are not so grounded. You will feel like, am I that same guy that I told them I am? It's normal, but don't actually bottle yourself up. Try to open your heart and learn more. Ask questions. Meet with experts like you. Go to online and read more. You will discover that you will keep knowing more and more. Thank you, Nokot, for your question, and thank you, Madam Funmi, for the answer. I think I have another question on the chat. Let me see. Okay, it's still the same Nokot. So any other question? I think somebody was, okay. Ufemia, you have a question?
Yes. Thank you very much, the organizers and the presenter, Madam Funmi. I'm richly enlightened by this webinar. Please, my question is on antivirus and malware. Because most of the time we get confused as the best antivirus we can use. Some of them, when you put them in your system, they keep flooding you with messages every time you update. At times you get confused whether they are actually the ones sending these messages. And they will still be there. Some things will be happening. They'll tell you, clean up this, do that, you know. So I don't know if you can enlighten us and maybe give us some examples of the malware we can buy to protect our laptops. Thank you. That's my question.
Okay. Thank you, Ma. I understand I understand it. The thing is that I noticed that it's mostly those free ones or almost free ones that disturb you because they want to sell more to you. So what you've installed is just So they want you to buy something or move something. So they would always be disturbing you with all alerts. There are many antivirus around. There's Kaspersky, Bitdefender, depending on your needs. Some of them provide total internet security, which is more than just antivirus. So they would monitor your internet connection and all that. Some of them provide VPN, some of them provide, so they have a full suite. But I think what you can do, madam, is to say top antivirus. Maybe you just Google top antivirus. I know of Kaspersky, Bitdefender, McAfee, Norton. There's so many. There's so many. But if you get the top rated ones, look at the reviews. There are even some sites that compare them. They compare them and they will say, okay, this one is cheaper, but it does the same thing as this more expensive one. So just compare based on your price, how much you want to spend on it, and what functionality it's going to give you, so that you do that. Another thing is that once you even install the antivirus, even though it's an antivirus, still go to the notification setting and privacy settings. Go and see what is there. So if you don't want to see notifications, put it there, no notification. If you don't want to see something, put it there. So you are able to even adapt it based on what you want. So, but the first thing is to just do the research based on your price and the functionality, then pick the best that suits what you want to use it for. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Funmi and Ifeanyi, for the question. So another question, please? We've got, oh, sorry, we can't even take any question again. We have only 2 minutes. So Madam Funmi, do you want to quickly do a closing remark so that we can also close it officially from our end there?
Okay, so I just want to say thank you once again for the opportunity to present. And I believe that we will go out as advocates to make the internet a safer place. The generations to come are relying on us to do that. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.
Thank you, Madam Funmi. Samaila, do you have anything to say before I ask Madam Funmi the last question?
Well, it's been a very enlightening session, and someone was asking in the chat if they will receive the slides. We'll definitely make sure everyone that registered gets the presentation slides, so don't worry about that. Thanks for joining us, and I'll just encourage us to look out for future events that we'll keep organizing virtually. For instance, we have our hybrid annual conference that comes up sometime in the summer. Once the date is confirmed, it will be posted online. So in order to not miss out on our announcements and our upcoming events, I encourage us to connect with our social media accounts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'll just post it on the chat quickly so that anyone can just copy or at least note it. So you can connect with us online so that you do not miss out on our announcements or on upcoming events. So thanks once again for joining us, and we hope to see you at future events.
Thank you, Samaila. When I was talking to Madam Funmi to invite her for this program, she was so particular about the time. Her response was not on the spot. She tried to look at her itinerary. So that shows that she's busy. So, and I want to appreciate the fact that she was able to squeeze out this time to attend to us from our busy schedule. Thank you. We do appreciate you. And I want to also think that we will have some more of these sessions to do together with you in future. I want to also thank everybody on this call for taking time to attend. The people that attended is like about 25% of those who register. It shows that people really want to attend, probably activities and personal reasons they couldn't make it. Fine. For those of you who are able to make it, I want to assume that there are 1 or 2 things that you have learned. But however, if you also have questions to ask, even after this call, you can reach out to us. We are glad to answer your question. And the one who cannot answer, we are glad to also contact experts such as us who will also advise on what to do. So this is Cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria organizing webinar on Safer Internet Day. And we are delighted that Madam Funmi, one of the directors of Deloitte and Lagos Chapter ASECA President, is our speaker. And my name is Olabode Agbola. So on this note, I want to officially declare the session closed while we go on our various activities today. And some other time when we have other engagements, you will go to know through the social media. Thank you and bye.